Welcome to UFO Documentation, where this new channel is dedicated to providing you with information regarding UFOs, which is known as unidentified flying objects, also UFO sightings, which are happening daily these days, and also UFO government conspiracies, all backed up with documentation, which serves as our new tagline, documentation fused conversation, which we think rightfully so. Since this being the first video for my YouTube launch and also the lead into the podcast, I'm going to name this episode 1, Confirmed. Yes, I use the word confirm, and just as our tagline, documentation fused conversation, we're going to show you some information here with documentation. That's why this video is called Confirmed. Hi, I'm Roderick Martin, and I will be hosting this channel, UFO Documentation. As a child, I've always been inundated with UFOs ever since I saw a UFO sighting. Well, I was probably about 12 years old, standing in my front yard one late evening and looking up and saw UFOs flying by, followed by some jets. And ever since then, I have been into UFOs. I watched all the UFO shows. I've watched everything you can think of about UFOs, hoping someday to say, hey, will I meet one, or will ET phone home? Who knows? So in order for me to bring you some of this information, I just want you to know that I am a certified MUFON field investigator, which MUFON network is the Mutual UFO Network. I am a certified investigator here in the state of Texas, where I handle UFO reportings and cases for the MUFON network as an investigator. So therefore, I will be sharing with you some of my cases that I have done here in the state of Texas, as well as some of my colleagues in different places, as well as current events when it comes down to UFOs, to make this one of, I think, one of the best new channels that will be to serve you if you are interested in UFOs, or maybe you're just wondering about it, or maybe you're saying, you know what, let me just watch this nut from time to time. Either way, you're going to get some of the best information here, all served up with documentation. With this being episode 1, I'm going to set the narrative of the channel and of the videos based on what I'm going to start with here, so that you can understand where I'm going to be taking you on the journey of UFO sightings, as well as I don't know where we're going to end up, but at the same time, I know it's going to be an interesting ride over the years to come as we discuss this topic right here on this channel. I have to start in 1947. This is the New Mexico Roswell incident, where there was a flying saucer that landed in Roswell, Mexico back in 1947 on a farmer's ranch. Of course, this was recovered, and just like everything else, there was headlines that I'll show you right here. Now, of course, just like anything else, the very next day, the government came back and said, hey, you know what? This was weather balloon. Hence started the conspiracy that has now arisen all through the UFO communities today, with people saying, hey, is this real or this real? So then we have the infamous Area 51. This here is the place where it's been said that alien aircraft, alien technology, alien bodies is stored. And of course, the government still today says Area 51, there's nothing there except for a private base. Now, Area 51 is now one of the most guarded places in the United States. And I mean guarded with technology, drones, from secret police, everything you can think of to keep you or us, the public, away from getting knowledge of what exists there. So that always has started the rumors, and also the conspiracy, and also the research from UFOologists to saying, hey, you know what is there? We need to know. We have the right to know. And thus, again, began the narrative of the UFO conspiracy. Now, of course, there have been a lot of movies made about Area 51. There's been a lot of stories and books written about Area 51. But again, everything has always led back to, hey, is it real or UFO real? We don't know. The government is not admitting. Everything, again, has always been just a conspiracy. But moving on with the clock today, and as I'm going to get forward to show you some things here momentarily, it all now starts coming down to a head about UFOs. And it all started with a unauthorized release back in 2004 of a Navy pilot or a couple of Navy pilots that was tracking an unidentified flying object. Well, I'm going to bring you up to speed today, but let me kind of set the groundwork for the confirmed title of this video. In 2004, there was an unauthorized release video of some Navy pilots tracking a possible or a UFO, or it was unidentified. Now, this video was circulating around for years and also had been debunked by the government saying, hey, we don't know where that come from. What the heck you guys get this from? Well, until another video surfaced around 2015, or a couple of more videos that then once again say, hey, wait a minute, there's something to this. We got another unauthorized release of a Navy video of pilots. Now, when I show you this video, I want you to understand and listen closely to these pilots, because these pilots are really showing their expression and their emotions when they're tracking this item to tell you that, hey, this is authentic, it's very authentic, and these guys are just as surprised as everything else. But once again, this is where I'll begin. But when I show you the video also to let you know something has happened in the last several weeks that I think if you haven't been sleeping on a rock, you ought to know by now. But then came now where we are today, where everything is now confirmed. Yes, when I say the word confirmed, it's been confirmed. There has been a release, a plethora of information out on the internet, the airways, the main news stream media about what's done happened with this particular event. Because in the past, there was always this dialogue between the UFOologist, the UFO historian, the UFO researchers with the government when it came down to these information. And the dialogue would kind of go something like this. This would be the government point of view.
I'll answer the question. You want answers?
And then this will be the UFO community point of view.
I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth.
And then, of course, the government ultimately will come back with this particular stance.
You can't handle the truth.
But now things have changed. Yes, things have changed. Now, I can't tell you why things have changed, and I can actually say the timing of it is kind of impeccable. But you know what? Why not? Because what's going on now in our community with what I would say with the COVID right now, and then you got everybody's worried about the stimulus money, unemployment, then you have the peaceful protesting, then you have all these other things that's going on today. This was perfect timing for the government to now come to a stance, and because of the Freedom of Information Act and all the pressure, they turn around and say, hey, here's something. Now, before I show you this video, let me set this up for you here. Even though the government denied that UFOs exist, or that particular video series was not true in 2004, in 2007, our government formed an organization called Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. Now, this was formed in 2007, but ultimately dissolved in 2012. Now, they didn't release any information on what their findings was, but what we do know is during that process, it was because the public found out about it, and they were still trying to hold water to say, hey, you know what? UFO doesn't exist. Not at all. But in 2015, more Navy footage surfaced regarding, the Navy spotting UFOs they formed and changed the name of the new program, okay, from the old program to a new program. Now, this here, once again, proves that although they telling us that, hey, you know what, UFO is not real, and the public is saying you guys are crazy for thinking it's real, we're still going to spend $20-something million on a program just to explore the possibilities. But I will share with you and provide information why they formed that program. The new program that was formed in 2017 that most people are not aware of, called the Unidentified Area Phenomenal Task Force. This was formed in 2017. Now, this here is responsible, again, for checking out or getting a better understanding for UFOs, alien activity, all of these things that people are still saying is not, but the government does explore. So here's the video I want you to check out. Listen to the expressions of these pilots as well as some of the comments. And this was totally released recently. Now, the video is totally released recently, but this is going to be the headlines that most of you probably missed because of all of the activity that was going on about a month ago.
a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA.
My gosh.
They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west.
Look at that thing, dude.
They do say, I mean, I've seen and I've read and I've heard, and I did have one very brief meeting on it, but people are saying they're seeing UFOs. Do I believe it? Not particularly.
Do you think you'd know if there were evidence of extraterrestrials?
Well, I think our great pilots would know. And some of them really see things that are a little bit different than in the past. So we're going to see.
You can hear the excitement of those pilots, okay? They are not joking around when it comes down to these. These are highly trained, skilled individuals. Now, because it's public and the Navy is all admitting, the Pentagon is admitting, it now spurred a whole new reaction in the Senate over the last several weeks. And the Senate has been demanding answers. Now, it's different from us, the UFO community, saying, you know what, we want to get the Information Act to give us that data. Now, the Senate is saying, wait a minute, we need the information. Now, one of the main reasons for that is because they're concerned. They're concerned that these unidentified phenomenals are going over our military bases, flying over some of the spaces. We do not know what they are. The technology is vastly better than what we have. They're more concerned to make sure it's not from one of the foreign governments or somewhere else, Russia or China, one of our adversaries who could possibly have better technology, and this is a threat to our national security. But now they're saying, wait a minute, we need some information. And so even so, after the Senate has said, you know what, we want to know, they have now come out with statements recently in the paper, the New York Times, all of are saying the Senate and the government is saying, you know what, we don't know. Some of these are not vehicles made from this earth. This is not what is. So have you ever wondered why they spend so much time and money worrying about what's in space and all of this and the race in space and everything else? But again, it sets the tone for you to understand this is real. So what you're going to get in future videos, me being an investigator, again, I'm going to share with some of my cases. Now, I'm not going to be able to give you the witness's name or their exact location, but I can give you a whereabouts source, you know, where they are in some of the instances, but I will provide you documentation from there. Now, if you're a person who had an experience and have seen a UFO, you're welcome to kind of hit me up and we can share that. I'll be doing interviews. I'll be sharing more information, having more technical people here, people that's in advanced research of UFOs, as well as just individuals stating, hey, what they're going through. But then again, showing you some of the cases that I do through MUFON Network, as well as some of my colleagues' cases that I will be able to share it with you from here. Now, I know I'm going to take a blunt hit. Now, in my community, you know, you're not hearing too many people talking about UFOs. So if you are a friend of mine or you're in my community, this is a place where you can be able to do so. Because there's a lot of you out there have seen UFOs and you're going, man, I can't tell my homies about this. You know, ain't nobody going to listen, or they're going to say, you cuckoo, right? Who knows? But at the end of the day, this is a place that you can be able to feel comfortable, share it. And Ken, we're not here to ridicule anything. We're here to just provide the documentation to fuel a positive conversation about what we see and the facts of what we're doing. So I'm excited. This is UFO documentation. I'm Roderick Martin. I'll be hosting this channel, and I want you every week, like I said, weekly, and that's weekly with 2 E's. I'm going to be here sharing information. This is episode 1. Please sign up, subscribe to the channel, you know, share this information, whatever, provide comments. Let's get interactive about this. Tell me if you believe in UFOs, if you think everything is nuts, or what are your thoughts? Have you ever seen one? Hey, just put it in the comments. And then, of course, we can reach out and talk about it or whatever. Hey, let's take this into another level, because once again, it's not just entertainment anymore. This is stuff that you need to know, and we want to know, hey, what are we going to know tomorrow? So I think that sums it up to why the government feels that this needs to be something that people don't know about. sums up in a scene in Men in Black. This is one of the best scenes, I think, that sums up the whole thing about UFOs right here with Will Smith. Check this out just real quickly.
Humans, for the most part, don't have a clue. They don't want one or need one either. They're happy. They think they have a good bead on things.
Well, why the big secret? People are smart. They can handle it.
A person is smart. People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it. 1,500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat. And 15 minutes ago, you knew that people were alone on this planet.
Imagine what you'll know tomorrow.
Now, as you saw that and you hear their statements, and it's true, people may not understand. A person might, but people may not understand. And so that goes to say why the government feel. But now, today, they're releasing that information at a time they know that people is not paying attention. A few persons are, like myself and other people that's in the UFO community. We paid attention to this release, but people is not paying attention because people won't see what's going on in spite of all the other stuff and distractions that we have today. So they thought it was perfect timing to go ahead and slip this under the radar. And believe it or not, it is not getting enough public attention when I think it should be. But regardless, that's why I'm here for. I'm going to keep you posted. I'm going to keep the news latest for you. And I'm going to keep you up to date with the latest stuff as well as some of the other files that was in the past. But also, again, we're going to stay on point about what's happening in the UFO community at UFO Documentation.